Oh shit, what's up YouTube? I didn't even know y'all was right there. You already know what's going on. It's your boy Too Tall Bishop Jones. I don't know what the fuck's going on. And we back today, y'all. We got a nice little story time for y'all. Let me get my camera set up, tripod up, everything right. Got the lights dim. So today, y'all, we gonna get into a story time. It's I'm not sure if I actually did. I'm sure I didn't do this story time. But yeah, it's pretty much me. Now, my father's to give y'all a little backstory of this. Me and my father's relationship is like the worm is rocky. You know, like it's rocky. So growing up, you know, we had our differences. I got older, I stopped caring. So you know how that be once you get to the point where you just don't care about, like, I'm a grown man now, so like I don't care about what we went through or what we didn't go through as a young man. I didn't care no more. So mind you, I haven't really dealt with my father for like, it was like 2 to 3 years. So one year we just starting to grow our communication back a little bit. So it was like a random day. I'm just chilling in my neighborhood, and it just like, he just came out of nowhere. Yeah, he kind of came out of nowhere and was just like, hey son, I want to know, you feel me? He like watching, what was it, Ghost. Yeah, he like watching Ghost, Power. So he like, son, can you come watch some Power with me today? Power season premiere today. It come on at 8 o'clock. Around this time, it was about 3. I'm like, all right, Pops, I might come fuck with you. Mind you, I'm in his area, so it's like nothing to go to his crib. So I'm like, all right. Mind you, my father never really asked for stuff like that. He never asked to spend time with me, so it's like, he asked, you feel me? All my homeboys was around, so they like, bro, let's go chill with him. He actually trying to chill with you. Go chill with him. So I'm like, I really ain't want to, but then at the same time, I'm like, fuck it, it's my father. I might as well. So around like 7:50, I'm like, all right, yo, the show come on at 8 o'clock. I actually want to watch Power myself. So I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna go grab my blunts, grab my grass and shit, and I'm gonna go up there, get him a little drink, and we're gonna actually chill for this little hour. It's an hour. I go chill with my father for an hour. So about, like I said, like 7:50, it come on at 8. I started to walk like towards his house. So I'm walking to his house. So I'm just walking in. I go to his room, his door shut. I push the door open, yo, and it's, what the fuck? Like I can't describe the like the visual, like the feeling, the vibe in the room. Like everything was like unmatched. I never felt that way in my life, yo. Like, for one, my father, he was laying on the bed like this. And he was sitting, his head was laid back. Me and my father, we have the same features. I look exactly like my father. So his head the same size and everything. When I say my father's head was this big, it was huge. I never seen a human face or body, like, his face was fucking huge. His head was big as a watermelon, no exaggerations whatsoever. He's sitting there, laid on his back. It's vomit on the entire bed. It's filled with vomit. So I'm kind of in shock at this point, because I'm like, what the fuck is going on? So I'm sitting there and I could see the needle in his arm. So I'm like, what the fuck is going on? So mind you, my sister, I have an older sister, she's like in the medical field, and she's right downstairs. So me, I'm still in shock. I don't really know how to say, like, oh my God, something happened to my father, like, you feel me? So I go downstairs and I just tell my older sister, like, can you come up here? Like, something wrong with daddy. I'm not sure what's wrong with him. So she like, what you mean? She go up there and she see him. She immediately just, oh my God, what the fuck, daddy? So she run to him. She tell me help. We started to, she asked me to help open his mouth to get the vomit out. So we both digging in his mouth. We getting the vomit out. We finally get the vomit out. She turned him to her side. She like, beat his back as hard as you can. I'm beating his back. We trying to get him, beating his back. She doing CPR. He make like a grunt sound, like. So we like, all right, he's back breathing. His chest was like going real hard, but his fucking head was huge. So she like called 911. We calling the police. I'm calling 911 on my phone. She's calling 911 on her phone. By this time, the neighborhood hearing us yelling and saying help, help. So I'm telling everybody, I'm yelling in the streets. Somebody call 911. My father dying. Somebody call 911. Help us, help us. Everybody in the neighborhood, we calling. No fucking answer, y'all. We couldn't get no fucking answer for like 3 minutes. Nobody could actually get a hold of a police or anything. Mind you, my car is parked right out front, like his house for real. I'm like, fuck it. I grabbed my father. When I grabbed my father, you hear that? That's the marble. Like, he was stiff as the marble. No exaggeration again. Stiff as a fucking board. So, mind you, he's up 3 levels. So it's a bunch of steps. I'm running a bunch of steps. I'm hitting his body on the wall. I'm falling down the steps. I'm just trying to rush him. I throw him in the back of my car, get in the car, take off, drive to the closest hospitals, which was Bon Secure at the time. Now it's called like some other shit. I'm not sure. But I take him there. They take him in the back and they rush him. Probably like an hour later, they come back. They say, hey, we want to talk to the son. Mind you, my mother was living at the time. So she like, they want to talk to you. So she pulled me to the side. She said, now listen, Tyrell, I want you to prepare yourself because they asking us to meet them in the chapel. Well, they wanted me to meet them in the chapel so they could have a conversation with me. My mother told me like when they usually ask to meet in the chapel, that's not a good sign. So I already was like, fuck, man. But I'm like, all right, cool. So I go to the chapel, me and my mother, and they tell me like, all right, your father, he overdosed on, I believe it was fentanyl mixed with some heroin. He overdosed. And when I seen him, he pretty much was flatlining. We help prolong the whole situation pretty much by us giving him CPR and stuff like that. They told me that his brain was bleeding, so in order for the oxygen, that's why his head was so swollen. There was a lot of oxygen and blood in there. They got to drill a hole in his brain. But he's not married, so they like, you're the oldest, you're the son, it's up to me. They said we could let him, just pass, or we could try to do this. If it worked, it's a 50-50 chance. So I'm like, fuck it, do it. They like, all right, we got the consent. I wrote the consent, I signed the consent to drill a hole. They asked me if he flatlined, do I want to bring him back? I told them, like, if he flatlined, you know what, like, he been through so much through this whole little period. I said, if he flatlined, like, it just, like, that's just God. I can't keep fighting God. Like, I felt like I was fighting God at the time, like, but I'm just like, you know what, nah, man, like, my family, we real church-going people, so I'm like, no, if it must be God gonna take care of it. So I said, no, man, do it. If it works, it works. If it don't, it don't. They went in the back, they drilled, and it fucking worked. I don't know how this man survived that shit, but he survived that shit. Like, it's unreal. Like, it's really unreal. So at this time, he done out of surgery and stuff. He pretty much was like a vegetable for like the first 2 weeks. And then he was starting to talk and stuff like that. He had to go to therapy, learn how to walk. Like, not learn how to walk, but, get his stuff back together. His motor skills kind of off still, but it's been a few years since the accident. So he kind of, like, sometimes if, like, you was with me, like a random one of my YouTube followers, like, if y'all was with me, just standing there with me, he would think that you was somebody else. And I would have to be like, no, Pops, that ain't, And he'd be like, oh, because he'd just be like, yeah, I know her, or I know him. He used to go to school with you. I'd be like, Daddy, I don't know, like. But the doctor told me, like, when he mistakes stuff like that, let him know. Don't let him just fall into that. Tell him when he's wrong. Tell him when he's acting crazy and weird and stuff. It helps him get out of it. So over the years, he been coming back himself, man. And it's a blessing to God. That's all I can say. Because I actually witnessed that man die, and he's like walking around, he talking like he used to talk. It's just like, it's nothing but a blessing. But yeah, man, that's the story time. It's tough talking about it, man, because it's like reliving it really. But I was a soldier that day, bro. I'll tell you I was, man. It's like, it's so hard to see your parent just like, nah, hell no, man. I didn't know what to do, but I didn't panic, but I was in shock. I didn't panic. And after that, I took my fucking CPR classes and stuff like that. I learned how to help people that's overdosing and stuff like that. So I advise everybody, yo, even if you don't do drugs and stuff like that, and you might not be around people that do drugs all the time, but just to know the knowledge. You never know when you might be in a restaurant or something like that, you know, and you can help somebody and save their life. So everybody learn CPR, everybody learn the overdose and drug overdose, all types of stuff, you know, like the little nasal sprays that bring them back, and it's all type of stuff, y'all. Just look it up, and hopefully we can help more people out here, man, because it's too many. But yeah, y'all, this Too Tall Bishop Jones. See y'all in another. Box you the fuck up.